And we're live. It's Adam Robinson, founder and CEO of Retention.com. It's another beautiful Friday afternoon in Austin, Texas. And you know what that means? Work in public. Follow us on LinkedIn to get a weekly update. Same on YouTube, weekly updates of stuff we are working on. So one thing that was a total mystery to me 6 months ago that I would say has been an unqualified success and I've cracked, so I wanted to share it, is working with influencers as a software business. So we found this guy, Chase Diamond, and it may just be because his audience is so perfect, but he is an e-com email marketing influencer. He's got like 100,000 followers on Twitter, and he just writes about email for e-com. And, meanwhile, related, I'm trying to do whatever possible to create massive awareness in the Shopify Plus ecosystem. And a lot of it is top of the funnel. A lot of it is brand related at the top of the funnel. And I kind of have this view that if we just create the dominant brand for what we do with this great domain we have, this great product that we have, moving super fast, we can win this market. And then we're setting the rules, right? So I also believe that social media is the platform that is your only option for generating awareness. And people go on social media to connect to people rather than brands. So that is why I'm building a founder brand. That is one of the reasons why I'm making this video, but principally it's for recruiting. And then so people can watch our journey and be compelled to want to join us because I'm not BSing about the traction. And, in talking with Chase, I can build my brand, which will take time, but if I can just use other people's platform who already have the right audience, it's going to be much faster. So the first thing I did was brought Chase on as an advisor because he knows how to navigate this social media world in a way that I don't. Part of the terms of that agreement was I agreed to sponsor his Black Friday, Cyber Monday virtual event for $25,000. I was the opening speaker and I had a panel. And the speech that I gave was more or less, it's a PowerPoint that basically says, everything sucks for e-com right now. You can't really control anything that sucks, but you can control the LTV of your customers. And the main thing people aren't doing that they should be is setting up all of these automations, these flows, and set these 7 flows up. If you do nothing else, screenshot this presentation, and you can use identity, which is what we do, to expand the audiences of those flows and make more money, like the end. So Chase really liked we didn't even have analytics set up to measure how effective that was in driving traffic and closes, just because we're in the process of onboarding Salesforce over the last several months. Chase liked the speech so much. He's like, let's try to drive traffic. So this is number 2. Try to drive traffic to an Edge of Sales webinar. That's literally the same presentation. And it's a webinar that both Chase and I co-hosted. He had been doing something similar with Mason on copywriting. And he drove audience through his newsletter. I'll go to this LinkedIn post. He drove audience on his LinkedIn. And then he spent $550 running ads off of his Twitter account, which I think is a really interesting idea and a highlight for working with influencers. To pay for ads off of their account is you just get this benefit of credibility. It's the brands associated together. It's just a really novel idea and something that I definitely want to do more with him. If there's other influencers like him, which I haven't really found yet, I'm working with Los Silva and Nick Shackelford trying to experiment with their audiences to see if we can do something similar. But that's kind of like my favorite thing about it. It's like I can pay for the ad spend. It's off of Chase's account. It's promoted heavily to his audience, and then there's this brand alignment. Anyway, so off of that Edge of Sales webinar, same format, book 7 demos, 2 closes, $30,000 ACV on both closes. Chase wins. He gets 20% rip on everything we close and anything that we do together. And then the third thing that I did was I bought the newsletter and Twitter account sponsorship for $10,000 a month. And that has driven over 40 leads in the past 14 days. Our sales cycle's longer than that or whatever, but we already have one $30,000 ACV close. So this is like something that if you're in a position like we are. I think a lot of e-com brands use influencers a lot. I think SaaS founders, there's a less obvious path to doing it. But it's something to explore, especially this idea of running ads off of an influencer's account. Nick Shackelford, I sponsored all his events next year. I'm going to speak at all of them and then try to do some of these virtual events too. Los, the same thing, sponsored all Powerhouse. So yeah, look, trying to become a guy in this space, trying to become known, trying to get out there and speak both virtually and in person, and other people's platforms is a heavy investment we're going to make. So that's it for this week, The Work in Public. Tune in for next week as I give you updates on things that I'm doing that are working and not working as we build a unicorn data company in public.